Hi guys. First, I want to just say that this is going to be my new YouTube channel. This is the very first video that I've posted on this new channel. I wanted to start a new one just because the old one was something I had a long time ago just for some other reason, and I wanted this to have new energy behind it. I wanted this to be to feel like starting something new. So this is the very first video on the channel where from now on I will keep you posted on upcoming events, just make videos to talk to you guys. Whatever I do in the future, this will be the channel where I announce it on YouTube. So there's also, keep in mind that I am still really new to technology, so I don't know how to edit anything, or I don't even have a computer. I'm doing this all entirely on my phone, so there will be a learning curve. Bear with me while I figure out how to use this if it doesn't look like the greatest or most professional thing in the world, because it won't be. But I will learn. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about today was another thing that helped me cope with life in solitary confinement in prison. Whenever I first got to death row, I wasn't in solitary confinement. For the first almost 10 years, I was allowed to go to the yard and associate with other prisoners. One of the very first, I take that back, the very first person I ever talked to when I got to prison was a guy who would eventually be executed, and by the time he was executed, he would have become ordained as a Rinzai Zen priest. Whenever he was executed, his teacher would eventually become one of my teachers as well. But this guy, the very first day that I got to prison, one of the things he said to me was, you can either sit in there in that cell and slowly stagnate and go insane like the vast majority of the people here, or you can turn that cell into a monastery where you can continue to grow and evolve and learn. Whether that is ever of any use to you again in the world, whether you get out again or not, is another issue entirely. But you can continue to grow and change and learn new things in here if you want to. I took that to heart because I saw a lot of people around me had gone stark raving insane over the years, or they were eaten alive by anger and bitterness. And I looked around me and I knew I did not want to be like the rest of the lives that I saw happening in there. So one of the first things that I realized was incredibly important if you want to be productive and constructive in any environment, especially in prison. It was sort of like out here now, how in prison there is no time. You know, noon is the same as midnight, and the 4th of July is the same as Christmas. There is no time. You live in a void, an eternal void that will not change for anything you can see in the future. It will forever be the same. You have to create something within that void to give yourself something to live for, to give yourself a reason to keep moving forward. And the first thing you need when you are living in a void in order to create something is a schedule, so that you stick to the schedule and you create time for yourself, because that's how we experience change in the physical realm too, through the dimension of time. Time is what allows us to experience things with a beginning and a future and a now. Without time, those concepts wouldn't exist. So what I mean by time, for example, is one of the things I did on this schedule is I cleaned. All the time I cleaned on this schedule. Someone said to me once that the most powerful banishing ritual is cleaning, because whenever you clean, you are not only cleaning in the physical realm, you know, you're cleaning away dust and debris, but also on the energetic realm, since, you know, as above, so below, you're also cleansing on the etheric level of reality as well. You are getting rid of any energy that is contaminating your environment that you don't want to have an influence on you. That's what you're doing whenever you clean, and that's what you're doing whenever you do a banishing ritual. Whether that thing you want to get rid of is bacteria or a stagnant pocket of etheric energy, it works the same, cleaning. And it also just makes you feel a lot better about the environment you live in. It's one of the things you can do to have some control over your world. You know, you can decide how clean, how much effort you're going to put into maintaining and upgrading your surroundings, because you want that energy to be as beneficial to you as it possibly can be. You know, we're taking in energy all the time, and we want it to be good energy. Cleaning is a way to do that, as well as maintain a schedule. I live a really monastic life, so I put a lot, I try to the best of my ability, live the way a priest or a monk would live in a monastery. I found that schedule now works for me the best out here, not just in prison, but out here as well. That's the schedule that now allows me to thrive and enjoy life out here, cope with life out here. So for me, I put a lot of energy into the magical work that I'm doing, and I also put a lot of effort and energy into cleaning my home. And by cleaning, I mean I get down on my hands and knees with hydrogen peroxide and scrub the floor. That's another thing you can use right now while they're out of cleansing products. You know, it's really hard to get some cleansing items in the store, disinfectants. You can use peroxide and it works just as well. So I've heard. But that is what I use. So, you know, making sure my environment is pleasant and as clean as possible. Another thing that I'll use, you know, I'm bringing up the cleaning products just because a lot of them are becoming even unavailable to order to get delivered to you. Peroxide, as I said, works. And I'll also use this stuff called Thieves Oil by a company called Young Living, I believe. Yes, Young Living. And people have been using this since the days of the bubonic plague. This basically kills anything that you're rubbing it on. So I put this in water and scrub with that also. But this stuff you can use like me. I also want to say thank you to all the essential workers that are still out there, you know, beating yourself to death right now to keep up with the demand so that everybody can stay in quarantine. Thank you guys so much for the effort you're putting in. It means a lot, especially like myself, I fall into the high risk category because I didn't have a lot of nutrition or sunlight, fresh air. I breathed in tear gas for 20 years. It caused a lot of respiratory damage for me that I still have issues with to this day. So thank you guys for making it possible for me to stay in an environment where I don't have to go out and come in contact with people. Thank you. But this, I also use it for breathing. I will put a few drops of this into a bowl of water that I brought to a boil in a tea kettle, and then put a towel over your head and lean over the bowl, and whenever you inhale the vapor, it helps you breathe, opens up your lungs. Okay guys, I don't want to keep going on, but if you guys leave topics in the comments that you would like to talk about in the future, I will try to address those in some way. Ask questions, leave comments, whatever you guys want. I hope you are safe and happy and healthy, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.